Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at an article in the Express saying Van der Leyen are back. Thanks Boris for his generosity. Now it's titled Van der Leyen thanks Boris for his generosity as the UK makes £744 million donation.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration. Rotten politics in this country at the moment.
Yeah, you heard it right. Boris is bailing out the corrupt institution we voted out of and have had to fight tooth and nail ever since, the EU. What the hell is he doing? Has somebody doubled him? Right, that's it. Pull his mask off. I bet it's Corbyn or that fella Joe Swansong. I bet it's Abbott. It's gotta be. Now, apparently this is to fund Bill Gates' vaccine. Doesn't make you worried at all, does it? But we'll have a look through. I'd like to say as well at this point, I 100% disagree with any money going to the EU for any reason. We all know it's a German-run empire. Their words, not mine. I tell you, everyone, I'm not liking the aesthetics of bailing out a bully. 744 million we need to build our economy again, to help our small businesses stay afloat, to house our homeless, to deport our illegals. You see what I mean? I could think of 100 better courses. Well, let's read the article and see what excuse he's been given to give them such a large amount of our money again. Boris Johnson is congratulated and thanked by European Commission President Ursula, who cares what her second name is, as the Prime Minister pledged a whopping 744 million to the global fight against lurgy. Can I just say at this point, Boris, our economy is going to be on its backside after this lurgy lockdown. We're going to need every penny we've got to recover, and you're throwing it in the air like you're Corbyn. I thought these were supposed to be Tories. Introducing the Prime Minister, Ursula von der Leyen said he had felt every emotion in the last month in reference to Boris Johnson's recovery from the lurgy. The Prime Minister claimed no one can succeed alone. Oh, here we go. Globalist in the fight against the deadly virus. He pledged a total of 744 million to support the global fight against lurgy, including 338 million aimed at the research, development and distribution of a vaccine. So that'll go into the back pocket of Bill Gates and who? And the UN then, obviously, and probably China. Makes you think, doesn't it? Mr. Johnson made the pledge as part of a donor conference held on Monday by the European Union to raise 6.58 billion. Can I just say at this point, we voted out of the European Union, so why are we being called on for money again when we've already voted out, Boris? I'm really unhappy about this, to be honest. Well, let me know what you think. Do you think this is just a ridiculous thing to do? I mean, we're giving up money that we're going to need ourselves, are we not? 7.5 billion euros towards the testing, treatment and prevention of the respiratory disease caused by the novel corona lurgy. Boris Johnson said the more we pull together in sharing expertise, the faster our scientists will succeed. And you think they wouldn't do that anyway without the money? We do have something called the internet, Boris. They can talk to every scientist around the world, and they do regularly. We don't need some organisation like the EU to tell us whether we can talk to scientists or not. That's not how it works, and you are trying to make us fools if you think that we would ever believe that. In a pre-recorded message for the International Pledging Conference, the Prime Minister said, in our own countries we've taken extraordinary measures. Oh yes, you have. Well past where we needed, in my opinion. Asking our people to accept sweeping restrictions on their way of life and to accept losing the job and income and security and economy and future. There's a lot of things that we could lump into that, isn't there? And by doing so, we've formed a human shield around our health systems, enabling our heroic health workers to dance on TikTok daily to save many lives, including my own. I threw that in, did you notice? But the truth is that none of us can succeed alone to win this battle, and here comes the globalism. We need to all work together. Everybody hold hands. We all love each other, don't we? Oh God, it's draining this, isn't it? Isn't it just draining? We must work together to build an impregnable shield around all our people, and that can only be achieved by developing and mass producing a vaccine. Vaccines aren't cures, just saying. The more we pull together and share our expertise, the faster our scientists will succeed. Now, as you can tell by the picture as well, she's smug about it as well, isn't she? Look at the pictures. You're telling me that she's not smug That's smug. What I have a problem with this, to be honest, is we give money to the EU. They find a vaccine. Just hypothetically, they find a vaccine. Do you think they're going to give it us? Do you? Do you think they're going to give it us? Look at what they did to Italy over the lurger. We give these money. This is how it's going to go, guys and girls. We give these moron cretins more money, and they're going to use it, and hopefully they'll find themselves the vaccine, and then they'll say, you don't deserve it, you're no longer in the club. Think I'm wrong? Let me know. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue. Mr. Johnson added that finding a lurgy vaccine is the most urgent shared endeavour of our lifetimes. No, the most urgent shared endeavour of the UK's lifetimes was to leave the EU. Countries and pharmaceutical companies will need to work together with an approach that defies the usual ways of operating, he said. Good luck with that. Big pharma companies do not listen to governments. You listen to them. We'll need innovative partnerships like the one between AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford, and we'll need a truly global effort because no one country and no one pharmaceutical company will be able to do this alone. Absolutely rubbish, in my opinion. That is absolutely rubbish. You could quite easily do it alone. The race to discover the vaccine to defeat this virus is not a competition between countries. That I do agree with, but the most urgent shared endeavour of our lifetimes, and we trust the EU to be able to dispense any vaccine that is put out on the market. Do you trust them to do any of that? Or do you think they're going to do exactly what they did with the PPE and go, nope, that's all ours. You can pay a fortune for the privilege of maybe getting it, because that's exactly what I think they would do. And we're giving them the funds to be able to do it. Now, this is all on top of, as well, the 700 million we gave to the UN and WHO recently to fight the lurger. If you're not sure what I'm on about, I have done a previous video titled "The Tories Give Out £774 million in foreign aid to the UN and WHO." I'll leave a link in the description as well, guys. Go and check it out if you've not done so already. The race, it's humanity against the virus. We're in this together, and together we will prevail. Oh God, it's starting to sound like Star Trek. At the end of the speech, Mrs. von der Leyen said, wow, very diplomatic that, isn't it? Very intelligent. Thank you, Boris Johnson, for your generosity. It's not Boris Johnson's generosity though, is it? Technically, this is taxpayers' money that he's just throwing at the EU, even though we've already voted to leave. We don't want anything to do with the EU. Nothing whatsoever. If they want to fight and find a vaccine, that's all well and good. But I don't trust them to hand it out fairly. Do you? Even if they did find it. I trust us to. I wouldn't trust the EU to. Speaking ahead of the Prime Minister, French President Emmanuel Macron said France would contribute 500 million euros to a global fund-raising push to finance research into a vaccine and treatments against the novel lurgy. France will commit an additional 500 million euros for the Act A initiative. See, if I was France, I'd put into it. And you want to know why? Because they're allowed to hoard themselves, aren't they? It's Germany and France are allowed to hoard everything. Everybody else suffers. So I'm not surprised he wants to put as much as us in. But he's going to get a net benefit, isn't he? I don't think we would. I think they'd just say, oh, by the way, you can't have the vaccine or any more PPE or anything like that. You voted out, didn't you? See what I mean? Norway will also give $1 billion to support the distribution worldwide of any vaccine developed against lurgy, as well as for vaccines against other diseases, Prime Minister Erna Solberg said on Monday. Non-EU member Norway is a co-chair of the event as a long-standing donor to global health initiatives. This is a global problem that needs common solutions between countries, not least with distribution, so that everyone gets access to the vaccine. And I don't trust the EU to do that, to be honest. Solberg told Reuters in an interview ahead of the conference. Just look at how they've treated Greece and Portugal and Spain and Italy and all the other southern countries. Yeah, $1 billion will go to Gavi, the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunisation, and to Bill Gates. A global partnership of private and public organisations focusing on immunisation worldwide, as direct funding for the period 2021 to 2030. Norway has financed Gavi since its inception in 2000. Solberg said she regretted the United States, a close ally of Norway, had stopped funding the World Health Organization. And you wonder why, when they just completely lied at the beginning and caused so many more deaths, and now you want us to continue funding to them, do you? Tough. And that is not part of Monday's initiative, which also includes Canada, Japan and Saudi Arabia, the current chair of the G20 group of nations. It is a pity the US is not part of it. Yeah, you mean it's a pity the US's money isn't part of it. When you were in a crisis, you manage it and do it jointly with others. Oh really? Ask Italy how jointly with others you are. Everyone will certainly evaluate their work at some point and see what could have been done differently. She said, but you do this afterwards, not when you were in the middle of it. So she's admitting that she's going to be finger pointing. It wasn't us, it was everybody else. Guarantee that's where that would go. So what are my thoughts on this? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think we should be giving the EU anything. I don't trust them as far as I could spit the words, to be honest, to do anything good with any sort of vaccine, cure, protective equipment or any of the like. I really don't. I think they just hoard it like they have done with everything else. This is just us giving them money for money's sake. They'd never send anything back our way. And if they did, it'd cost us so much money, we'd be crippled for the rest of our lives. And probably our children would be crippled for the rest of theirs as well. You see what I mean by this? So I really don't like the fact that we're still bailing them out. And I don't like the fact that Boris Johnson, even though we voted to leave, is still talking globalist talking points, bullet points. It's not a good aesthetic in my opinion. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is ridiculous? Do you think it's just more proof that the Tories aren't as Tory as we'd like to think they are? Because it does a little bit with me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified whenever I put a video out. You won't miss anything then. And I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, everyone.